is forgiveness. I'm going to lead us in a forgiveness meditation, a guided visualization. So if the ushers would make sure the doors are closed, and you just begin by getting comfortable in your seat, sitting erect, comfortable but erect. And pay attention to your breath. Put your attention on your breath and just let it settle down. If you've been moving around, it might be a little more rapid. Let it come to a still point. And actually, the music can play while I'm giving instructions, but quietly. So, what I know is that as you take a few breaths, your body continues to relax. And put your attention on the cave of your heart. That's that safe place within. Thank you, Refugee. So just continuing to relax. And you see yourself in your safe place. You see yourself there, feeling very relaxed. But you are not alone in this safe place. There is a spiritual being with you. That being could be Jesus, it could be Mary, it could be the Buddha or Kuan Yin, or a goddess that I don't know the name of, or a god that I don't know the name of, but a being that has a human-like form. Feel that being's love for you. So what is being said is, I love you. I love you with an everlasting love. I've always loved you. There's nothing that you've ever done or ever could do that would stop me from loving you. Now, feel that love. That being is still there, holding your hand or with his or her arm around you, just simply letting you know that you are loved, that you are cherished. Let that love soak in. Feel your heart open up to receive their love. Feel it cleaning out all the bad feelings of guilt and blame inside you. Next, call to mind anyone you need to forgive but who you haven't been able to. What you can't do, this divine being can. Imagine that person right there with you and this spiritual being. Tell that person whatever you need to tell them to forgive them. Feel that healing taking place. And if anyone else comes to mind, bring that one to forgive as well. You're not doing this by yourself. You have divinity beside you and with you. It's doing it for you. Doing it as you and through you. Continue feeling that love, that forgiveness, that energy as your body feels lighter and more relaxed. And now bring yourself to mind. Of course, you don't need to tell this spiritual being what you've done that you judge as wrong or bad, the mistakes you've made. For he or she already knows everything about you and loves you, accepts you just the way you are. You may need to ask for forgiveness, but the Divine One sees you as innocent and says to you, you are free. You are not guilty. You are free. You are my beloved, in whom I am well pleased. And for the rest of this time together, simply continue in that loving communion with that divine presence, with the power that it is in you, through you, as you. Let yourself really feel the love and the forgiveness. Let it come from your heart and wash all over you. Now we're going to deepen that experience of forgiveness and love. And if the ushers would please open the doors so that everyone can come in through lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the path of ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Marlene Kuckler lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here today. And then there's going to be a time now that you can just sit in that silence, or you can stretch and take a break. The band will begin playing at 20 past, and we will enjoy their music then.
Good morning. It's time for us to sing together. So once Mary brings up the lyrics, you can stand, you can sit, but sing out loud. There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do, your infinite love will prove more than enough. There is more than enough in a universe that you created. There is more than enough on a planet of sacred design. There is more than enough for humanity made in your image. Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I go without? Why would I worry? Why would I doubt? Why would I ever think I go without? Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do, your infinite love will prove more than enough. Your infinite love made me, made everything I see, and all that will ever be is your infinite love. Let my soul know the truth, whatever I choose to do, your infinite love will prove more than enough. More than enough. More than enough. And now I'd like to introduce our fabulous Sunday morning band. On bass, Bill Dixon. On drums, David Page. And on guitar, Ed Cusby. And our guest pianist today is the fabulous Jules Vogel. And today's guest musician is the beautiful and talented Jennifer Trevor. And I'm Karen Allen. I'm your song leader, and we're going to sing the next song, I Am Enough. So please stand. If you want to dance, you can do that too. If ever I lie, God knows why, the mind that knows all will not let me fall. When I feel blind, God's light shines through you and me as harmony. I am enough. I'm made of God's stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. Though good may seem far, it's near as you are. Though bad may be here, it will disappear. In the middle of this, I have found bliss. Through you and me as harmony. I am enough. I'm made of God's stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is the dance of love. Now it's time to go greet your neighbor. Give some love. Get some love. Let's make our way back to our seats. Whenever I fail, God fills my sails. And when I succeed, it's not only me, it's the limitless light that makes it all right. Through you and me as harmony. I am enough. I'm made of God's stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is a dance of love. I am enough. I'm made of God's stuff. I go with the flow, and God lets me know that the balance of life is a dance of love.
Woo, yes, it is the dance of love. Good morning, all you little sunshine beings. You just look wonderful this morning. Yay. I had the pleasure of meeting Chelsea and Rick this morning for the first time, and welcome back, Reverend Arpad, wherever you are. Welcome back. Hey, welcome back home from your wonderful trip. And good morning. My name is Judy Chapman. I am one of the assistant ministers here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Capistrano Valley in very cool and lovely San Clemente. We are experiencing such a lovely fall, crispy air, 92 yesterday in San Clemente. So whoever you are, and whatever spiritual path you're on, you are welcome here. We are a center that provides the tools for you to make your life better, to lift yourself up through classes, through the Wednesday night service, the Sunday service, which is dynamic, all the wonderful ways for you to grow and expand in consciousness. So we start today with prayer, as we start everything we do with prayer. So please go within as we join together in this cosmic stream of pure, loving God consciousness, knowing that there is only one presence, one God, one Spirit, one divine essence. And this one is absolute. It is the first cause to all of creation. It is who we are. And I know that all the qualities of God, named and unnamed, live and move and has its expression through us. We certainly are the sacred activity of the beloved. So I affirm and I decree that all is well. and that we are love in action. Therefore, we forgive ourselves for any hurt or pain that we have caused anyone else, for any mistakes or errors, and we forgive others with love. We forgive others so that we can be free to express and be the loving expression of Spirit. I know that each one of us are here this morning on purpose, listening with our spiritual ears to the wisdom that we are given today by Dr. Heather, by the music, by the musicians, by everyone we meet. I know that we are an excellent idea in the mind of God, and we express it as so. And so I release this word into the universal mind of love. And I give so much thanksgiving. And I am so grateful for this teaching, for this knowing, and for this truth that sets us free. And so I anchor this prayer in confidence, in compassion, and in joy. So please say with me, and so it is. Okay, I'd like to invite Hans Smith up to help me do some announcements.
Good morning.
Conscious Connection will be in the sanctuary here after the service at 12 o'clock. It's led this month by Reverend Patty and Reverend Karen. And Conscious Connection is just, you can just gather around and we just chat about what we learned today in the service. So please join us. Also this next Wednesday, since this week is all about the spiritual law of forgiveness, I will be doing the Wednesday service, and it's a Taizé service, a forgiveness Taizé service at 7 o'clock. And a Taizé service, if you've not been to one, is music, silence, prayer, chanting, music, silence, prayer. So please join me at 7 o'clock here.
If you'll notice, there was a vacancy for the flowers. So next week, maybe we can have some flowers, and you're welcome to get some flowers and put them up here for the service on Sunday. You can either call Starla. There's information in the bulletin on that. New classes are starting. There's a number of new and interesting, fabulous classes. We've got great teachers here and wonderful classes for you to build your spiritual awareness and your spiritual consciousness. We are also participating in the Hunger Walk, the 28th annual. You can check with either Joyce or Harry and
raise your hand, Joyce
and
and Harry.
Where are you at, folks?
Okay, there's who to talk to.
Oh, there's Joyce. All right. And
on the third Wednesday of November, the third Monday of November, at 7 a.m., we are having a business networking time together. So there'll be breakfast, and it starts at 7 a.m. right here in the multipurpose room. It's in your program. So if you want to network and find out who else is in the center that we can connect with, please be here on November 16th. And also we have the Tai Chi class that is so graciously given to us by Jane Anderson. It's Saturday morning at 9:30 right here at the side of the building, or Sunday morning at 9. So please join us for that.
And now it's time for our affirmation. I will read it, and then it will appear on the wall, and you can read it. We'll all read it together. As I forgive, I am forgiven. So I declare myself to be willing to forgive him, her, them, or that for whatever it was that caused me to be upset. As I forgive, I gain more freedom, and he, she, them, and that gain their freedom too. Now, we all move along in life, and so it is. So join me. As I forgive, I am forgiven. So I declare myself to be willing to forgive him, her, them, and that for whatever it was that caused me to be upset. As I forgive, I gain more freedom, and he, she, them, and that gain their freedom too. Now we all move along in life, and so it is. Thank you. And now please join me in a warm round of applause for the lovely and talented Jennifer Trevor.
So good to see you all again. Thank you for having me back. Yes. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stick together. All I know is love will save the day. So herald what your mother said, read the books your father read, try to solve those puzzles in your own sweet time. Some may have more cash than you, others take a different view. My, oh my, yeah, yeah, yeah. But you gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser, you gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, gotta be stronger, you gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stick together. All I know is love will save the day. Time asks no questions, it goes on without you, leaving you behind if you can't stand the pace. The world keeps on spinning, can't stop it if you try to. Best part is danger staring in the face. Oh, yeah. Well, listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds, try to keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they will cause you tears, go ahead, release your fears. My, oh my, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, you gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard, you gotta be tough, you gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool, you gotta be calm, you gotta stick together. All I know is love will save the day. You got to be bold, you got to be bad, you got to be wise. No one ever said you got to be hard, but not too hard. All I know is love will save the day. All I know is love is gonna save the day. All I know is love will save the day. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. That's wonderful. Great to see you again and hear you. What a great song. Love will save the day, does save the day, is the only thing there is that can save anything or heal anything. So it's October and the whole month is dedicated to prosperity, and we are studying Edwene Gaines' wonderful book, The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity. So, and today, the title that you have is The Spiritual Law of Forgiveness. But Edwene, on her first part of the chapter, calls it the mysterious power of forgiveness. And I like that. So that's my title, The Mysterious Power of Forgiveness. Because there is something that's inexplicable, and it happens every single time we forgive. No matter if we're forgiving a debt, The Lord's Prayer says, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So it's the same as I love my neighbor as myself, means you have to do both. You can't just choose, I'm going to just love my neighbor, but no, I'm not going to love myself. Or I'm going to ask to be forgiven, but I'm not going to forgive. It doesn't work that way. There's a mystical saying, as above, so below. As within, so without. So everything starts within us, the whole flow of prosperity. So imagine this. You're surrounded by, you're indwelling abundance right now. It is who you are. You're the director of your experience. You're creating the most magnificent play, and you get to decide whether it's a comedy or a tragedy. Right? You get to decide whether there's plenty or whether there's lack. And the decision isn't just here. The decision is made in the cave of your heart. It's made in that place. So last week we talked all about the spiritual law of goal setting. And I saw you all making notes. And how many of you were practicing this week? Put your hands up so I can see. Whoa, good. Excellent. Continue to practice. Well, I did very well on remember I asked you to the practice of not judging, complaining, or gossiping, or criticizing anything or anyone. Well, I did very well until Friday. And can you believe it was with my prayer partner that I found myself, oh my gosh, I'm gossiping. I have to start again. And she says, forgive me. Anyway, so it wasn't her. It wasn't about her. It was about me forgetting that I had made a commitment to myself. So I started again. So now this is day 2, right? 3. It's like, but 21 days to create a new habit, and you need to be mindful. You need to keep remembering. And you're doing that. You're doing that for the very reason that you're practicing the law of forgiveness, the mystical power of forgiveness, so that you can unkink that hose that the universe has, the hose of abundance, that you might be stepping on it right now and nothing's coming out. Well, the nothing is coming out because of you. And likely it's something completely unconscious, like resentment, bitterness, some kind of lack of forgiveness, some unforgiveness. Edwin Gaines says, and many spiritual teachers have said this, resentment is like swallowing poison and hoping the other person dies. Swallowing poison and hoping the other person dies or at least gets sick. It doesn't work that way. Forgiveness isn't for the other person at all. It's for you. It's for me. When I'm forgiving anyone, I'm really doing something that blesses myself. So, and didn't you love, how many of you were here for the Wednesday's Wisdom? Hands up. It was so powerful walking that labyrinth. And I hope you all got cards. I got the right and perfect card for me, which was, and is still, this one. It was the card that said, I walk in, I acknowledge and bless any hurt or harm caused by my words or silence. Whew. I acknowledge and bless any hurt or harm caused by my words or silence. So are you willing to let go? You know, what I realized when I read this is that I would love to be able to say that I'm a master teacher and that I live the teaching and that I never hurt or harm. That's our intention, right? Do no harm. And yet sometimes a careless word or a silence when there should have been a word, when a word was called for. And for me, that error of not speaking is huge. So that's what I was releasing. And then the renewing coming out from the center of the labyrinth was, I choose peaceful and healthy ways to communicate. I choose healthy and peaceful ways to communicate. And my chakra was the throat chakra, the speaking chakra. Boy, I couldn't have planned that better if I just created it myself. which of course I did create it myself, because we create all things ourselves. By right of consciousness, we're always attracting them to ourselves. Okay, so Edwin says it's a mystical power. Ernest Holmes tells us on page 298, 299, for selfish reasons alone, you cannot afford, listen to those words, you cannot afford to hold anything against anyone. For the God of love cannot hear the prayer of the one who fails to love. Now, do you hear those words and see that's the same thing as why we have to forgive? We have to forgive so that our goals can be met, so that our word can be powerful. When we're not forgiving, when we're in a state of resentment or criticism or complaint, what we're saying is that this universal presence that's all-knowing and all-loving is somehow absent in my life. And that's impossible. That's impossible. It takes so much time and attention to truly master these ideas, the principles of science of mind. And I encourage you, Reverend Arpad's starting class tomorrow night. I'm starting a class Tuesday night. Those classes should be full. Should be full. And we don't should anymore. The reason they should be full is because you want a better life. Richer, more abundant, more powerful, clearer. That's why you take classes, so that you can recognize that wonderful magnificence that is the truth of you. That is the truth of you right now. Not in a future, greater, later, but right at this very moment. You are enough. You are enough. The song says, you are enough. You're made of God's stuff. God's stuff. There's so many examples of the power of forgiveness. And the couple that I reviewed last night, one is the shooter that went into the Amish school and let the boys go and the pregnant girl, and kept all the little girls. And he had 3 guns with him. And he shot 5 and injured 2 that were critically injured. So actually 7 children were killed. Were killed by a shooter that was not part of the Amish community, had his own mental issues, his emotional issues. He had lost an infant daughter. But the rest of the story is far more important than the horror of the shooting. The parents of those children knew that the wife of the shooter and their children were suffering. And so they went to his funeral. And not only did they go to his funeral and say, we're offering our love, our forgiveness. Obviously, he was suffering for him to do such a thing. They offered some financial support to his widow. Now that's forgiveness. That's forgiveness. You just lost your children. They've been killed senselessly for no reason at all. And they rose up. So maybe, just maybe, we could get over or forgive that unkind remark someone said to us. Or the guy that left, or the woman that left, or the thing that we're holding as such a bad thing by such a bad person, when really it was just a thing. Part of life. Edwin Gaines has the most wonderful way, because people will say, well, what do you say about Hitler? What do you say about, if God is everywhere present, where is he there? Well, God is working through us. He's working through people. He, she, it is working through people as the principle of love. Or not, because we get to choose. The other thing I remembered, and I read this and I also saw it, I heard it, several years ago when my sister was visiting, we visited the Museum for Tolerance. How many of you have been there? It is absolutely outstanding. It is outstanding. And it was very impactful from both my sister and I. Anyway, after we went through the tour, there were these 2 men that were offering to do a talk. And the talk was, I listened to them, it was the true story of this kid who left home at 13, the boy, because he was gay and his family didn't want him at home. And as he was out on the sweet streets of West Hollywood, some neo-Nazis saw him, ridiculed him, beat him, kicked him into a coma, almost to death, and left him to die. Well, the kid survived, and 25 years later, the neo-Nazi that kicked him in the head and caused the coma met, and they met. And there was a reconciliation and forgiveness on both parts. And they both now come to the Museum for Tolerance and tell their story. Because if that boy, now a young man, could forgive someone for just about killing him for no reason except his sexual orientation, then what I know is every one of us, whatever it is that we think we can't forgive, oh, Heather, you don't mean that. Oh, Heather, I do. I do. I mean absolutely everything. Every single thing. You have to loosen your grip on being right and give it to God. And what I did in the meditation this morning, for those of you that weren't there, I reminded us that for the things we don't know how to forgive, the thing within us, God knows how. God knows how to help us forgive that thing. I remember watching Jack Boland, who was the teacher. He had a huge church in Detroit, Michigan, and then that became Marianne Williamson's Unity Church. And he would tell this forgiveness story of how his brother-in-law stole from him, and it was a public defrauding, and he blamed it on Jack Boland. So everyone in Detroit thought Jack was a crook. And here's how he started his forgiveness work. I forgive him, the son of a bitch. Sometimes you have to start there. You start where you are. I forgive him, I forgive him, I forgive him, until he finally actually started saying it like he meant it. I forgive him. And I have a wonderful friend who teaches this, that when someone does you harm, the prayer after forgiveness is for their highest and best good, for their prosperity. So he said he realized he was also doing that. He was wishing him well. I see you prospering in every good way, and feeling the letting go of that resentment and bitterness, letting it go, letting it go, letting it go. And finally, one day, he said he looked over, and there was his ex-brother-in-law in a great big brand new Cadillac, driving, smoking a cigar, just at the top of the world. And he realized he'd done his forgiveness because he said, oh, he's doing really well. Isn't that great? See the difference? Isn't that great? Isn't like, that SOB, what is he, how did he get that? That's where we need to go in our forgiveness work. Edwene talks about, she tells the story, or retells the story of Abraham, who had a dream that God said God would give him anything he wanted. And so Abraham thought and thought and thought about what he would ask for. And he said, Lord, since I am the ruler of a nation so important to you, your nation, I ask for an understanding heart. And God was so pleased that not only did he give him the understanding heart, but he also gave him riches and love, all of the things of his heart. It's how it works. Because when we've forgiven everyone, what are we left with? An understanding heart. We're left with an understanding of the other and of ourselves. Most of us, I'm going to guess, the one we most need to forgive is ourselves. Put your hand on your heart. Feel your heart beating. And repeat after me. in this holy moment of now, I truly, deeply, and profoundly forgive myself. I am the perfect child of the beloved. And so it is. So, and feel that. Feel that. That's a word of truth. Just the way you are, you're already perfect. You're already whole. You're already complete. Edwina says, the other thing that I just want to touch on that she says that I highly recommend is make an inventory of your whole life, of anything you've ever done to harm anyone. It might take you a day or two. It might take you a few hours, but anyone that's ever harmed you, and anyone you've ever harmed, either by your words or silence. Make that list and then start the forgiveness work. She says that she did this and something came up. She was so surprised, and this always happens for me too. I think, oh, I've done all the work on that. It's never going to come up again. Bingo, it comes up again, the very same thing. The issue with one of my parents often comes up, and that's, like, I'm old enough to be a great grandmother, and so what am I doing? Having those resentments, but if they're still there, here's the spiritual truth. It's like peeling the layer of an onion. You need to, which, believe me, I never do, but on a literal onion, I do it figuratively in my journaling, but you peel off the first layer, there's still onion there. You have to go again, peel the next layer and the next layer until you get to the place where you are so free. You're so filled with freedom, joy, aliveness, energy, that all you see is the love that you are. This is the day, this is the week to start practicing forgiveness. Tonight, when you go to bed, before you go to sleep, ask yourself, who did I shut out of my heart today? Who did I hurt by words or silence? That I can practice forgiveness. Who hurt me? That I can practice forgiveness. And then do it. Do it. What I know is the moment that you let go of all of that crap, you've created a vacuum. And what comes in isn't more crap. It's more good. It's more joy. It's more love. It's more prosperity. Right here, right now, you are the one making the difference. And so it is. Let's take those ideas into prayer, and then Jennifer will come back. So just know with me, the thing itself that is divine love is healing me right now. I know this for every person in this room, every person watching, that there is nothing that I have ever done that has tarnished my being. My sacred being is shining bright, beautiful, whole, innocent. And that divine innocence is what I'm born with and what is the essence of my being. I know this for everyone here. I know from this moment on, forgiveness is a natural, normal way of life, and I forgive 70 times 7, for that is the way of life. I forgive fully, deeply, profoundly, easily. I give love, and I love being the being of love that I am. And so making amends wherever I need to make amends, doing the work that I'm called to do, I know and declare that all is God, all is good. I give great thanks that this is so. I release this word to divine mind. It's complete. And please join me in saying, and so it is. And so now please welcome Jennifer Trevor.
All right, this song is called Break the Shell. I met a prophet, dark as the night. She could see into my soul. She said she'd been watching and had some advice. She said shadows make you whole. A life without pain is a wolf in sheep's clothes. So if you listen to the lessons that it holds, you'll find the gold. Child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break the shell. Now I can remember when I was a child, how the grown folks seem so crazy. Why are they so angry? Why are they so loud? And when I grow up, that's never ever gonna be me. That was the moment that I decide that I would build a wall just shy of 6 feet tall, too strong to fall. But child, it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break the shell. And courage is not being hard. It's time to peel back all the layers you put between who you want to be and who you are. And go be who you are. So much disappointment to finally understand that there is no such thing as perfect. We're all simply doing the best that we can, and we have a choice to live or truly be alive. So this is your life, and it's time to break the shell. Life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. You cannot fly until you break the shell. Oh, my life's gonna hurt, but it's meant to be felt. You cannot touch the sky from inside yourself. A bird cannot fly until it breaks the shell. So do with these words what you will. It's time for us to be for real. You'll be stuck on the ground until you finally break the shell.
What a beautiful song. Beautifully sung. We will not be free till we break the shell. If the stewards would please come forward, it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. Okay. Please repeat after me. Remembering that I'm forgiven as I forgive.
Remembering that I am forgiven as I forgive.
I forgive fully.
I forgive fully.
I accept the flow of consciousness,
I accept the flow of consciousness.
the flow of good,
The flow of
the
good.
flow of prosperity.
The flow of prosperity.
It is all good.
It all good.
It is all God.
It's all God.
And so it is.
So it is.
And now our band. The children should be coming in any minute, so let's welcome them.